Hello A&P students, this is Mr. Becker here to discuss the third major tissue type in histology for our lab, muscle tissues. We will cover the three major types of muscle tissues found in the human body: skeletal or voluntary muscle, smooth or involuntary muscle, and cardiac muscle. Our first muscle tissue is skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle is composed of long cylindrical muscle fibers that run the length of each muscle. Muscle fibers are organized into bundles called muscle fascicles. Surrounding individual muscle fibers is a thin connective tissue sheath called the endomysium. Fascicles of muscles are surrounded by a larger, dense, irregular connective tissue sheath called the perimysium. Inside each muscle fiber is a complete lattice of proteins that form striations. Each striation represents the repeating unit of muscle called the sarcomere that causes contraction of the muscle. The dark areas of striations are the A bands, while the light bands are the I bands. Z bands are not usually visible in light microscopy. Note that the entire cytoplasm of the muscle fiber is taken up with sarcomeres. The remaining organisms, therefore, are pushed to the margins of the muscle fiber. Muscle nuclei are easily visible on the margins of many muscle fibers. Smooth muscle is composed of sheets of smooth muscle cells. The cells have centrally positioned nuclei and they take on a spindle shape. The spindle shape means that the fat central part of one cell overlaps with the thin ends of other cells, which is a good organization for building sheets of muscle that can stretch in 2 dimensions. Lastly, if you take a look at the tissue as a whole, you will note that you cannot find striations in smooth muscle. The final muscle tissue is cardiac muscle. It shares some structural features with both smooth and skeletal muscle. Its physiology is also intermediate to the other 2 muscle tissues. Like skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle is striated, forming sarcomere units that will contract strongly. Like smooth muscle, the nucleus of a cardiac muscle cell is centrally positioned. Unlike both other muscle tissues, however, cardiac muscle is highly branched. The ends of these branches join to each other at thickened plates called intercalated discs. The organization of branches and intercalated discs allows the creation of a sheet of muscle that can form a sphere. The spindle shape of smooth muscles isn't well adapted to forming spheres, and the long rod shape of skeletal muscle could never form a sphere. The sphere of cardiac muscle is empty on the inside, so it can fill with blood, and then cardiac muscle will contract to decrease the volume of that sphere, helping to push blood out. Finally, we can see a layer of perimysium near the lower border of the image, composed of DICT.